everybody. Welcome back to the Rant and Review Pro Wrestling. And yeah, they got me. I watched the Raw After Mania. I'd already planned on watching it anyway because WrestleMania, again, this year I was very excited about. I'm going to give you my thoughts on it as a person who doesn't watch Monday Night Raw or SmackDown weekly. And we also have the whole Endeavor thing, with Endeavor now being, well, eventually in the process of becoming the owners of WWE, kind of merging it with UFC into this big conglomerate thing. And what does that actually mean? How are things going to change? We also have changes this week on Monday Night Raw. And also the YouTube wrestling community losing its mind over what's been going on the last 24 hours. But before we get into that, I want to remind you guys that if you like this video, you can help out the video by hitting the like button, the subscribe button, the notification bell. It does allow other people who are wrestling fans to know about this channel and does introduce them to this channel. So I appreciate that very much. But let's talk about first my experience with watching the Raw After Mania. So as we all know, WrestleMania 39 is in the books. And well, you know, the show, half of it was good, half of it was kind of meh, and that was kind of my impression of it afterwards. But, you know, I was looking forward to the Raw After Mania. Things have been good. WWE, in my opinion, has been a lot better in the last 12 months since last year's WrestleMania than it had been in a number of years. And I was looking forward to seeing what the next step in the storyline was going to go. We're not going to end the Bloodline storyline. That's not imploding or on its way out. It's actually amping up a little bit now, and they're just going to keep going with it. And I talked about in my WrestleMania review kind of my concern about that they might get into a point where the WCW got to with the NWO, where there was a point where it looked like this is probably where this should end and you should start a new story, but they kept going on with it. I'm suspicious as to whether or not that's going to be the same thing with the Bloodline storyline right now. It feels like, especially with Roman as champion, and that we had hit the mark that it's probably time to change this and move on to the next story while it's still hot. And people will want it to come back. You can bring it back in a year or two if people wanted to come back. But they're continuing on with this Roman being the dawn of this wrestling empire that he's got. So the basic thing, I watched the whole 3 hour. Well, I'm going to be honest. I watched 2 hours and kind of came in and out of some of the other segments. But the main thing was Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes wound up teaming up to take on Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa for the main event of the show. As other people mentioned, and as I noticed too, by the time these guys got to the ring, there was like, 5-10 minutes left in the show. I was like, there's no way they're going to have an actual full match here. And what happened is what everybody kind of predicted was going to happen at that point. Brock turned on Cody and basically beat the living snot out of Cody for the rest of the show. Roman got out of the ring. He was whispering something to Solo, and then they got out of the ring, and they're kind of looking like they didn't have anything to do with it. The announcers are saying that Roman didn't know what was going on. To touch on that, there is an interesting plot point here that the reason that Brock came out is a very specific. Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar had a series of matches even up until last year. The last time that they met together, it was established that Brock can no longer challenge Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship. Paul Heyman laid out the stipulation that in order to get this tag match that Cody wanted, he had to pick a partner who wrestled the night before at WrestleMania or over the weekend at WrestleMania, and that person then, if they did become his tag partner, would never be able to challenge Roman for the championship. So that brought out Brock Lesnar, who already had that stipulation on him. So you started kind of seeing the wheels turning a little bit now that we see the aftermath of this. It kind of suggests that perhaps down the road, if Heyman splits from Roman, this is going to be one of the long-term storytelling catalyst of it, that Heyman specifically chose the stipulations because he knew that Brock, to set up Brock to come out, and maybe in exchange for that, Brock will get a shot at the WWE Championship against Roman, and possible Heyman turning on Roman at some point in time in the future. I don't know. What it kind of tells me, though, is that we're probably going to get another Brock and Roman match. I know a lot of fans don't want to see that, and that Roman's reign is going to go on for a lot longer than we thought. So we're probably looking at SummerSlam now. Roman's going to hit the 1,000-day mark, possibly. Most likely, he's going to hit 1,000 days. There's nobody else really to challenge him right now. That's a suitable challenger that the fans would want to see. So Cody got beat up. A lot of us have kind of laughed and like, well, for the last year, everybody's been talking about, man, look at the way they're treating Cody, and that's to encourage guys like Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks and Hangman Adam Page to come on over to WWE. It's not so bad here. And now Cody, the story is over because Cody lost at WrestleMania. He then got embarrassed in this show where he looks like he got set up. He has no friends. And Brock Lesnar basically beat the living tar out of him. And I feel that maybe some of this is a bit of a receipt for all of the smack he talked for all those years and the throne and all that stuff. So who knows? Wrestling can be petty sometimes, but who knows? The other big thing to come out of this is we also have to bring in the Endeavor thing. So Endeavor, I think everybody knows this at this point, has now agreed to purchase World Wrestling Entertainment. The stock investors, I guess, we're getting paid out for our shares of WWE, or it's going to be rolled over into this new company that's going to be available on the stock market. So $9.3 billion, I think it was, that Vince got paid for it. Absolutely fantastic for him. He got the money that he got more than what he wanted. He wanted $9 million for it. He got more. He wanted $9 billion for it, I should say. He got more than that. And the other side of it is, despite, yes, Vince and his plastic surgery and the really suspect mustache and the hair dye, he looks very weird now. But despite all that, apparently Vince is back in creative. And he's worked his way back into creative, and lots of reports have come out that Vince McMahon was back in the chair in Gorilla, and this is no longer Triple H's creative again. Vince was calling the shots. I had suspected this when I saw the main event at WrestleMania with Cody and Roman, and now a lot of people are saying, look how Monday Night Raw changed. They changed a bunch of stuff at the last minute. Look at the way it was booked. Look at what happened at the end of the show. It screams Vince McMahon booking right now. Even though they trotted out Triple H at the beginning of the show, and Triple H, I feel like maybe that was Triple H just saying goodbye. He's like, yeah, I got to do cool stuff for a year. But yeah, Vince is back now, so I got to take a back seat for another 5-10 years or whatever it's going to be until I get to get back into the chair again and do creative. So you've seen what I can do, and it is what it is. I think a lot of people are very upset about this. A lot of people are very upset, which brings me to the last point, which is about my contemporaries here in the YouTube wrestling space. The last 24 hours, I have been more entertained by watching people react to WrestleMania Night 2, reacting to Monday Night Raw, the Raw After Mania, than I was from watching the Raw After Mania. And I say entertained, not really necessarily in a good way, because it's kind of like every bad stereotype about wrestling fans I have seen manifested on YouTube in the last 24 hours. You've got, I've seen certain people, being shills for everything's great. Yeah, it's great. It's wonderful. Yay, everything's a thumbs up. Oh, yeah, maybe this wasn't bad, but you know what? I'm going to, for the business reasons. And I always love it when people who haven't run a business talk about how businesses run. That's always great. So we got the shills. Then you get the people who, they want to fantasy book the next 6 months, and then they're because they're also outraged, and this is not the way it should be. This is the way it should be booked. You're not writing the story. It's somebody else's fiction, which I'll get into in a second. Then we've got the people that are very, very angry and pounding tables and throwing things and smashing things and F WWE and screw this company. I'll never watch again. I can't. I like. Not in the way that those of you who watch my channel know that I make fun of, I get angry about Tai Chi in New Japan and call him Birdface. Like, goddamn Birdface. Not like that. Like, these people are legitimately, vehemently angry about what happened at WrestleMania and what happened at Monday Night Raw. And watch it again. It's got another person who's talking about, well, now Vince is back in the chair and now we're going to be forced to watch blah, 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 blah. I'm like, nobody's forcing you to watch anything. You don't have to watch it. That's the thing. You don't have to watch WWE. If you don't like it, you don't have to watch it. Probably the most egregious one was I did see one guy who and I'm not going to name names. I'm going to name one name, but I'm not naming names for everybody. But I did see somebody else who picked that Roman was going to win and gloating about it to his audience, and then I think somebody had said something to him in his chat, and then he told the person, oh, you're just mad because Cody didn't win and you were all for Cody and, you know, screw you, get out of here. I was right. I was right. That's what it's about, huh? Again, like I said, the worst aspects of the worst stereotypes of the wrestling community have all, this is what Vince has brought back. He has brought back all of the terrible things about the wrestling community as all just manifested thanks to what has gone on in the last 24 hours and 48 hours with WWE. I hear morale, there are reports that the morale is down and back in WWE in the locker room and in the dressing room. We got reports of people wanting to leave and all this other stuff. It's just like night and day. Like 72 hours ago, we were looking forward to what could possibly be the greatest WrestleMania of all time. And now it's like we've gone back 3 years and everybody's just angry and pissed off and saying what should happen and what shouldn't happen. The only person, and I'm going to say their name, Solomonster. I like Solomonster. I've always liked Solomonster. Solomonster was the most honest person I saw about this because he was asked by one of his viewers, have you ever stopped watching, or have you ever felt like you wanted to stop watching WWE just completely? And he said he never did stop watching. He felt like it sometimes, and this is the part that I liked about what he said. He's like, but I keep watching because I don't know any better. And I can respect that. Like, I can respect I don't know any better because it's honest. You know, I've been there. I'm sure a lot of us have been there. Some of us are probably still there. You know, it's been going on about 7-8 years now since I stopped watching weekly WWE wrestling and WWE TV because it dawned on me at one point in time. I was like, why am I watching something that just, I'm not enjoying it. The reason I used to watch Monday Night Raw was to go on Twitter and between the commercial breaks and see how everybody was crapping on the show. That was what it got to. And when I realized that's what I was doing, I'm not actually enjoying the show. And this is 3 hours of my life. And boy, watching it again, a full Raw, or trying to watch a full Raw again, when I don't do it regularly, that 3 hours really drags on. And it really kind of settles in with me that, man, I could be doing like a whole bunch of other stuff that I'd rather be doing than watching this show that I'm not even enjoying. So, and I know there's some people who go, well, you're not a true fan. No. I am a true fan of pro wrestling. I like pro wrestling, even the sports entertainment variety. I've said it many times. WWE is not my cup of tea as far as the way they present wrestling, but there's still wrestling in the show. And when they do it well, I enjoy it. And when they do the presentation well, I can enjoy it. It's not my favorite. It's kind of like I can appreciate punk rock music, but I'm not like a big punk rock fan, but I can enjoy when it's done well. But I still like music, you know, for God's sakes. That's not being a fan. I'm being a fan, and I know there's people going to disagree with me about this, and some of you guys are going to disagree and start typing stupid stuff in the comment section, but that's not being a fan. That's being brainwashed. I'm sorry. If you're watching something, you're spending 3, 4, 5, 6 hours a week watching something that you usually get maybe 5 minutes of entertainment from. Most of the rest of it you're upset about. It drives you to be angry and slam tables and curse, and you talk about you're never going to watch again, knowing full well you're going to watch again next week because you can't help yourself because you don't know any better. You're yelling at other people, talking about I was right because I predicted somebody else's fiction. Come on. I'm going to get in so much trouble for this, but I don't care because I'm in the wrestling community, but I'm not like that in the wrestling community. I don't want to be like that in the wrestling community. And that was kind of a cool thing, even though I'm kind of disappointed that we seem to have regressed thanks to all of the stuff that's happened over the last 48 hours. I'm also kind of happy at the fact that, yeah, I got to keep my clarity there. I don't want to be that kind of a fan. I don't want to be the kind of the fan who just says everything's great just because it's a WWE logo, or even if it's just a New Japan logo or an AEW logo. I don't want to be the kind of fan that's very angry about everything, and I don't want to be a fan who I make a prediction or fantasy book something, and then if I happen to guess right, then I act like I'm some superior person and start telling people to shut up and go away and stuff. No, I don't want to be any of that. I like what we do here on the Rant Review Pro Wrestling. Try to have somewhat of an intelligent conversation, an adult look at the sport and the entertainment and the art of pro wrestling and all of its various forms. Try to enjoy the good parts. If there's bad parts, we'll talk about it, but we're not going to dwell on it for 2 hours. That's the interest that I have, and I think I will continue doing it because I will be honest with you guys right now. A couple weeks ago, If you notice, I haven't done too many videos because I was thinking about stopping because I was just kind of bored of the wrestling stuff. It's just like, I got other stuff I want to do. I don't want to do. I still like wrestling, but I don't know if I want to do videos anymore on YouTube. Now I kind of realize again, no, I want to keep doing videos on YouTube because of the original reason I started this channel. I think there needs to be a different voice out there, and whether I get 500 viewers, 10,000 viewers, 5,000, 3,000 viewers, whatever it is. If there are people out, if I can at least put something out there, at least I can do something and maybe encourage some other people who may be a little about the wrestling fandom to maybe take a different approach to it and kind of look at it as what it is. It's fiction. It's entertainment. It's not that serious. If it sucks, don't watch it. There's like 6 other wrestling companies putting out shows every single week that's readily available online and on television. This is essentially me talking about what I've seen from this crazy fallout from the ending of WrestleMania 39, the Raw After Mania, and the purchase of Endeavor of World Wrestling Entertainment. But I want to know what you guys think about all of these topics. Let your voice be heard in the comment box below. Send in the hate. Send in the hate. Send in the praise too. I don't care what it is. You know, just don't say, if you insult me, although, you know, I'm not going to deal with that kind of stuff. But if you have different opinions, I like to hear different opinions as long as they are constructed like an adult, because we're all adults. Well, most of us are. Until then, I will see you guys here. We got other stuff. Now, WrestleMania season's over. It is time. Sakura Genesis from New Japan Pro Wrestling, a far less contentious wrestling show to watch, is coming up pretty soon. So we're going to be talking about that over the next couple of weeks here on the Rant Review Pro Wrestling. And we got, of course, I'll probably be doing a review of AEW Dynamite this coming Wednesday. I'm very curious to see how AEW is going to respond and what the response of the wrestling community is for AEW. That they've been crapping on AEW for the last 6 months now, and now that Vince is back and all of this stuff, and WWE kind of looks like it's back to being the crap show again. Are we going to get more, or is everybody going to go back to be like, oh, AEW is all great now again? I don't know. I'm going to be interested to see that. But again, I will see you guys here for more news, rumors, and commentary on the Rant Review Pro Wrestling. Have a good day.